Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today in gaming, Warzone got a big balance update. Respawn announced a new legend, Microsoft Game Streaming is getting a PC and iOS beta, and much more. Warzone just received an update that fixes several issues and rebalances the Sykov pistol. The patch notes cover a lot of stuff, so let's start at the top. The RCXD has been removed from buy stations. It's now exclusively available at containment monitors. The patch fixes an issue that prevents players from equipping armor plates after deactivating killstreaks or field upgrades. The bug that prevents players from moving or shooting enemies using a loadout drop is also fixed. The missing glint from Modern Warfare's sniper scope and variable zoom scope has been fixed. Modern Warfare's weapon perks not having their intended effects has also been fixed. Finally, we also have the balance changes to the Sykov pistol. Raven added the weapon late last week to disastrous effect. It had a 200 millisecond time to kill, aka half of the most lethal weapons in Warzone. Today's patch increased the hipfire spread of the full auto attachment. When dual wielded, the Sykov's movement speed has been reduced by 5%. The 80 round drum mag now reduces movement speed by 5% and ADS movement speed by 7%. Finally, the damage has been reduced by 25% when both the full auto and 80 round drum mags are both equipped. This balance update is great to see and probably Raven's most effective to date. Obviously, we could go back and forth all day about how the Sykov was added in the state it was, but they reacted quickly to player feedback and directly addressed pretty much every issue with the Sykov. Hopefully, this indicates that Raven will be more careful when adding future weapons and quicker to react when imbalances are discovered. They recently announced that changes are coming to the AUG M16 FFAR as well. They also reworked the rose skin to prevent it from being totally invisible. The end of Season 2 is this Wednesday. We expect an event that wipes out Verdansk as it currently is, replacing it with a Cold War themed version. Treyarch announced the new content coming to Cold War and Warzone with Season 3. The content roadmap for the season confirms a Warzone map update, 4 new multiplayer maps for Cold War, a new score streak called the Strafer Run, new zombie content for the Outbreak mode, and 4 new guns. The update looks pretty standard as far as seasonal Call of Duty content updates go. As predicted, it goes live this Thursday after the big end of Season 2 event for Warzone. Respawn revealed a new hero for Apex Legends. Valkyrie will be added on May 4th in a legacy event. Her abilities haven't been announced, but the story trailer introducing her emphasizes flying and the North Star Titan from Titanfall. The teaser trailer for the May 4th update teased Valkyrie flying across an updated version of the Olympus map. The Legacy event also adds a new weapon called the Bosek Bow. According to Respawn's description, it will be a powerful mid-range weapon. Considering how slow the bullet velocity is from most Apex weapons, expect the bolts to travel quite slowly. Legacy will offer a new battle pass and ranked playlist as well. Respawn will probably release more info as we get closer to the event. Respawn have also announced that Apex Legends Mobile is entering closed beta later this month. It will initially be available for a few thousand players in India and the Philippines. More regions and players will be added as the year goes on. It'll be a free-to-play title that is built from the ground up specifically for mobile devices. Because of this, there won't be cross-play with the console or PC version of the game. It's essentially a new version of Apex that stays faithful to the original game while making all the necessary tweaks to be playable on mobile devices. Microsoft's Xbox cloud gaming service, XCloud, is launching in beta tomorrow for PC and iOS users. They'll be sending invites to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members to test the service. Microsoft ran into a huge roadblock with getting the XCloud app on iOS. Apple doesn't allow third-party game stores on the App Store. To get around this, Microsoft are releasing a browser-based version of XCloud that's accessible via Edge, Chrome, and Safari. The number of beta invites getting sent out tomorrow will be very limited, but Microsoft will expand invites to more users in the coming months. XCloud is currently available on Android devices with a preview app. The browser-based version of the service will offer identical functionality to the Android device. In other Microsoft news, it sounds like the most recent Windows 10 update is causing some significant issues with frame rates and stuttering in some games. The April update was a required download for all users, and it can cause random frame drops and massive stutters while playing games. The issue was widespread enough to gain traction on social media, so it doesn't sound like an isolated incident. If you're having these issues, uninstall the update that ends in either 1330 or 1337 via the Update History menu in the Settings app. Microsoft are also settling a recent lawsuit regarding Xbox controller drift out of court. The case popped up last year after players started reporting issues with the analog sticks on Xbox Series X and S controllers drifting or essentially sending a directional input when in the neutral position. It was a big enough issue that a law firm got involved. They're settling the case instead of going to trial. Amazon canceled their Lord of the Rings MMO because of a contract dispute with Tencent. Amazon contracted Chinese developer Lei in 2019 to make the game. Tencent swooped in and bought that company last year, and Amazon couldn't work out the terms of creating and distributing the game under the new ownership. So far, Amazon's attempts at making games have been fraught with roadblocks and failures. Their only released game so far was the 4v4 MOBA shooter hybrid called Crucible, but that game was removed from sale and canceled within a few months after launching. A glitch preventing ranked gains and losses in Rainbow Six Siege from being calculated correctly got fixed today. The devs identified the cause of the issue and released a hotfix that should remove it. Players noticed that they were losing or gaining ranked points because of enemy players leaving and rejoining matches. When a player left and then rejoined a match, it would affect the rank point playout of the match. This could lead to a situation where players got more or less rank points per match than intended. The issue seemed like it was pretty recent, so it probably didn't significantly impact most players. Nvidia might be gearing up to launch a $1,000 RTX 3080 Ti next month. An image is floating around on social media showing a box for the GPU from MSI. The box says the GPU will offer 112 gigabytes of VRAM, which is a downgrade from previous rumors that said it was 20 gigabytes. Shipments have apparently been spotted, which makes it seem like that GPU is launching next month. Nvidia hasn't officially revealed the new GPU yet. All that said, it looks pretty likely that the RTX 3080 Ti is real. Most hardware reviewers believed that it was actually coming until Nvidia allegedly put it on the back burner to focus on supply issues with their current GPU lineup. It sounds like reducing the amount of VRAM it offers is being done to make the GPU easier to produce while also freeing up VRAM stock for their existing GPUs. Rockstar might be pulling all of their games from sale on Steam. In recent months, they've started requiring their own launcher to be installed for all of their games regardless of where you buy them from. Today, the Steam database tracking site SteamDB is showing all Rockstar games have been sent to purchase disabled, preventing users from buying them. Of course, all of the DLC for their games is still available for sale. As of writing this story, there's been no official word from Rockstar about the situation, but many of the delisted titles are slowly being relisted. Sony are pulling a massive U-turn on their plan to shut down the PlayStation 3 and PS Vita stores. They announced the shutdowns recently to a very mixed reaction. Most of the criticism about the decision was over the preservation of games you can only get on these platforms. The stores going offline meant any exclusives went with them. Users would still be able to download and play games that they had purchased before the shutdowns. Unfortunately, the planned shutdown for the PSP store is still happening on July 2nd. Before we get to our final story today, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're looking for the latest breaking news and updates, be sure to follow us on social media. We post short videos and updates on the latest game news across TikTok, Twitter, and a dedicated YouTube Shorts channel. A fan-made sequel to the iconic FPS Wolfenstein 3 is launching later this month. Wolfenstein Blade of Agony picks up after the events of the original game. BJ is retired but gets dragged back into the fight against the Nazis after receiving an encrypted message from a friend. The game will offer more than 30 levels across 3 chapters, complete with secrets, voice-acted characters, new music, and weapons. The game was built using the GZ Doom engine, so you can expect the gameplay to be a blend of Doom's fast-paced action with Wolfenstein's complex level design. The presentation looks very similar to other recent retro shooters like Ion Fury, Proteus, and Dusk. Blade of Agony has been playable for a few years now as a series of beta releases, but the update coming on the 30th fully revamps all the previously released chapters and adds the final 3rd chapter. You can download it for free on the game's official website. And that wraps it up for Today in Gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.